down B. Last player standing. Flawless.
This video is brought to you by...
Activating kill mode. That's a joke. Kill mode is default.
Careful here. Grenade!
Enemy spotted B.
Have one of these.
Got you. There.
Careful here.
Spike down mid.
Cage triggered.
Last player standing.
Rich.
One downside to being immortal. I can't play dead. Spikes here.
Reloading.
Got one. Grenade!
One suppressed.
One enemy remaining. Cutting their vision.
No more charges left. Planted the spike.
For you to keep planting more ice shrimps and cherry bombs and whatnot. Now pair that with the Blood Moon Rising, you have a peculiar situation that I would like to call you are completely screwed and you are done for. Because you can quite literally do nothing now except for watch yourself lose. I love that. And that's really besides the point. Because, well, I guess the gameplay can speak for itself.
Last player standing.
Gear up. Stay safe. You're going back in.
On to stage 3 of optimization, which is everything after the first flag. Because of what we did in stage 2, we did all of that work to save using 2 cop shots on grave ambushes. Those saved cop shots actually give us...
Let's start this party.
So, emang tadi main sama ini ya, sama Bang Magister ya?
Right here.
Maaf saya.
Loh, kamu rap ya? Itu cuk anjing. OP cuk.
Knife deployed.
Grenade!
Where is everyone hiding?
My ultimate.
Reloaded.
Spotted me. Planted the spike.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
Charge.
One enemy remaining.
I think that's it. Did you say something? Sorry, ear's still ringing.
Reload. Reloading.
It's enough leeway to start planting more than a copy, which is necessary to beat this level.
Aku balik dari kampus hidup loh.
Dropping smokes. Here, catch! Oh yeah, refreshing. Reloading. Satchel out. You had your fun. My turn. Get out.
One enemy remaining.
We are just too good. Don't be spending too many brain cells figuring them out. Overthinking is just as bad as underthinking.
Camera taken out.
Aku pakai apa ya? Aku pakai apa ya? Apa ya? Sentinel ya? Bagus.
Reloading.
Bomb buddy. Satchel out. Satchel out. Listen up.
One enemy remaining.
I'm still here, amigo.
Enemy remaining.
Brakes? Nowhere in sight. I'm still here, amigo.
Kita sama-sama juga loh, tapi itunya dua stack aja jangan dipenuhin.
Reloading.
Okay. Satchel up.
It's you and me.
Satchel up.
One enemy remaining.
None of my stuff has malfunctioned yet. Can we celebrate that?
Mana tanah nenek? Mana tanah nenek? Mana tanah nenek?
One enemy remaining.
Full. Also, you actually have to be a genius to beat this level legitimately because you kill dancing zombies before they reach your cob cannons. You have to shoot your shots before they even appear on the screen. Obviously, this is only possible because I save scum every single wave, and I just cut out all the
Ay, ayos.
Satchel out.
the failed attempts for you guys. Then comes the blood moon part of the level. Again, we have to shoot our pop shots before we even see the zombies, and we also have to make sure none of the dancing zombies revive or else we straight up lose. Which is mitigated by the fact we have saves coming on our side, so I can just replay the level with the previous save state if the dancing zombie revives itself. And finally, we have to also exploit a glitch with the top hit, which allows it to hit 3 lanes instead of 2 lanes whenever we shoot the top shot when zombies from the wave are spawning. Yeah, don't ask me how that glitch works, I have no idea too. And all of that, what is happening on the screen for you guys, seems like it only took 30 seconds to do, but in actuality took 30 minutes of painstakingly re-rolling for the perfect RNG to end up with what is a perfect run. And after spending like 2 hours of playing one singular game of Plants vs. Zombies, we finally reached the final wave of this level without crashing, because we somehow managed to make sure there weren't too many waves on the screen. So I just launched all our cop cannon shots to finally win a bag of money. Why the did I just waste 10 hours of my life beating this level with like 5 different game exploits and 10 different loopholes? I honestly can't answer that question. Well, thank God the next level doesn't include the sunflower zombies again, but there are newspapers, so take that as you should. So you might be wondering how can this loadout somehow beat Hypno Coneheads? But the trick is, we don't. They only show up in World 6 and 7, so we won't be worrying about...
They will cover!
Careful here. Bomb buddy out.
Suppress it!
The fun begins!
Satchel out.
Someone is B. Tripwire destroyed. Planted the spike.
One enemy remaining.
My ultimate is ready. Tripwire destroyed.
Oh, dari 3.
them anymore. But there's also some bad news. All previously ground exclusive zombies can now spawn in the water, including newspaper zombies. So we'll have to defend the water as much as we do on the ground as well. Catapult zombies from this world and onwards now also shoot much faster, as if they are on steroids. It looks really goofy, but it's actually completely harmless as long as we have some umbrella leaves. I wouldn't let my guard down just yet since we haven't seen the blood moon abilities of newspapers and catapults, but turns out they don't have one. So what originally looked really difficult is actually just a nothing burger. The final wave was pretty uneventful as well, and...
Reloaded.
Reloaded. Grenade!
Satchel up. Satchel up.
So I managed to beat the level in our first attempt. But I don't know whether I would say the same about the next level, which brings back both Jack in the Box and ladder zombies. Last time these two came together, it required a 1 in 30 million chance to beat. Against Jack in the Box and ladder zombies, I took the obvious Gloom Shroom.
Player standing.
Manishroom removes all the metallic objects, and Gloom Shroom's high group damage vaporizes the rest of the zombies pretty easily. But balloon zombies are a different story, since we have to kill them using Blover. And if there's even just one wave that spawns too many of them, the next wave can be sent immediately since one Blover use could kill half the zombies on its own, which can be completely devastating as you can see here. Without 2 columns of Manishrooms, we won't be able to reliably counter Jack in the Box zombies, which is especially impactful since they now summon jalapeno zombies in 3 lanes upon self-detonation during the blood. Remember guys, this is fair and balanced. And if that sounds bad enough of a change, I'm here to tell you, it gets worse. Gargantuars during the Blood Moon now throw random zombies instead of imps. Any zombie in the game.
Thank you.
And I'm sitting.
Okay.
Grenade! Watching here.
Satchel out. Satchel out.
You had your fun.
Free for me.
Tripwire destroyed.
Behind bed.
Grenade! Last player standing. One enemy remaining. Attackers win. Smells like victory. And gunpowder.
Sitting here, wondering how you're supposed to stop a full health football zombie thrown into the last column of your defense with no instant kills in your loadout. I guess you don't. So the first order of business here is shifting our defense 2 columns backwards, allowing us to stall out the waves and get more blowovers to defend against balloon zombies. This actually worked, and we managed to keep our defense intact until Gargantuars came. Now, I originally thought Gloomshrooms could kill Gargantuars if we just spam flower pots to halt them in place in front of our Gloomshrooms, since that had worked previously, but during the Blood Moon, Gargantuars have a faster swing speed, making it much harder to stall out. They can easily smash their way through our defense, destroying our Magnushrooms, causing us to lose against the Jack-in-the-Box zombies again. Well, I didn't directly lose by dying there, but it was impossible to win since I had no stun to defend the final wave as a result of those Jack-in-the-Box explosions. Now, it could be really easy to just say, run Doomshroom, which would have one-shot the final wave by itself in the last game.
Found.
However, since Doomshroom is unusable during the Blood Moon, bringing it instead of Cherry Bomb seems to be not that good of an idea, especially if the latter would have actually saved us here. So I switched back to Cherry Bomb afterwards to see if I could have played better and lost fewer plans to beat the level. All was going well until RNG just punished us by teleporting this Ender Conet directly into our house, because I spent a blowover. Welcome to Plants vs Zombies, Dumb Luck Edition. And certainly, I'll admit luck can be a major deciding factor in whether we win or lose games. This was evident as in my next run, I was almost certainly cooked against this train of Gargantuars at the bottom lane. But thanks to RNGesus once again, an Ender Conet teleported past everything straight into the roof cleaner, which activated it early and saved the entire bottom lane. Coincidentally, the Blood Moon ended at the same time, slowing down everything back to normal speed. Somehow, the 2 Gargantuars in the next wave also ended up in the non-Gloomshroom lanes. That's some super lucky stuff there. This basically allowed us to make it to the final wave unscathed. And somehow, I lucked out again because there were only 3 Gargantuars in the final wave and 2 of them were in the lane with a roof cleaner, so I just spent 2 cherry bombs on a Gargantuar in lane 2 to kill it, and I beat the level. Strategic icon right here, displaying the most skill-based gameplay ever. Now, if you thought the Gargantuars were bad enough last level, yeah, I think you can see where this could be going. The first thing I immediately thought of when seeing Zombonis and Giga Gargantuars are Cob Cannons, as their insanely high healths mean that we can only counter them using sheer destructive force. However, the strategy of imitated Cob Cannon from level 8-2 has absolutely no way of defending itself in the Gatling P zombies. With no wall plants in our loadout, flower pots can only provide limited protection before the Cob Cannons get systematically eliminated. Just too many zombies and with no defense left, this level is definitely going to be a tougher one to crack, it seems. The first change we make in our second run is to include Walnut, as we definitely need some protection so Gatling P zombies can't just wreck us. It did a pretty decent job at doing just that early on, but in practice, Walnut was not that good since it reduced our total number of Cob Cannons as we had to make space to plant a line of defensive plants. Without enough explosive power, we could not kill off all the zombies, so we just didn't have enough defense and ended up losing again. Now, my first fault after failing to protect our Cob Cannons was to dish Cob Cannon. I mean, Gatling P zombies can inflict damage to us if we just don't have anything for them to hit. This was a terrible idea, by the way. I don't even know why I considered this, but I would have to say, it did create a really funny moment. Get here.
Bye, have a great
No,
time.
are you kidding me, man? Bro! Watch this switch lanes again, and then I'll be hilarious. You have...
Safe.
I'll chill. There's nothing to do. What the hell is this, Bob? Bro, just use.
Right there.
Enter.
This is up top.
Well. Reloading. Smoke. Smoke.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
You've got to be kidding me! What? Come on, man. Bro. Nah, mate. Mate. It's good switching again or something. No. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? Bro. You have got to be trolling me. What is that? Are you? Come on, man. Well, I would say that this is a pretty unwinnable situation for us. Would you agree with me? Now that's a pretty good sign. I should reconsider my options again. So I went with Chop.
Kirby. Don't know, stop it. B.
Can you guys hear me? Ah, you guys not listening.
Can't wait for 5 minutes. 5 minutes later. We have 5 minutes. I can like let's go. I have like better.
Spike planted.
Below me.
Last
On
player
your
standing.
Choppers as my main DPS in my next run to see what they could do here. But I failed to consider that bringing Choppers would then also require me to bring both Walnut and Mushroom to counter Gallopy zombies and Thicker zombies respectively. We then also have to factor in the fact that gravestones are blocking quite a lot of planting space, meaning there's practically no space left for sunflowers. In fact, we soon ran out of sun to plant more walnuts, so this definitely can't be the way to go. Though seeing as strategies involving choppers or conventional instant kill spam both failed, the only reasonable strategy we should try are variations of cop cannon strategies. However,
Right there.
yeah. Smoke please. 5.
Right there.
Walk out.
Standing ahead.
And
Found them. Up and away.
oh,
Last player standing.
However, as soon as bigger zombies start showing up, we just don't have enough explosives to kill them off because everything recharges so slowly. This allowed the diggers to spawn buckets on top of our cop cannons and destroy them, so this was definitely not an improvement. But what are we really missing out on these runs? It's just a reliable counter against digger zombies. The best solution to that problem is Potato Mine, which can eliminate them before bucketheads are even spawned. This is a massive deal since Potato Mines allow us to kill digger zombies without causing any collateral damage on other zombies in the wave.
Hold it down.
This means we can defend our cop cannons whilst
I'm going here.
Right there.
Look at here.
Right there.
Mismo.
Lo, Reina.
Spike down B.
I'm not real. One minute. Entry.
Dropping smokes.
Last player standing. Spike down B.
Refreshing.
One enemy remaining.
Oh.
Pal.
Kitchen from.
stalling out every single wave, giving us
bad.
extra time for cop cannons to regenerate more
Ready.
shots.
Listen up,
Those
pal.
extra seconds we get every wave are what really counts. Squeezing out that one extra cop cannon shot is what makes the difference to keep our defense intact for one more wave. But this only lets it make it 1 or 2 waves further. In the face of the incoming army of Gatling P zombies, it seems like they will overwhelm our defense. And if our cop cannons are going down, it looks like we will have no chance of beating the level. Right now, we're on track to lose because the final wave of Giga Gargantuars is unstoppable since we
Destroy the recon, I mean. FOP. Oh. Right now, dude. Oh, no one.
Deploying drone. Right here.
Chamber. Oh, chamber. We can be fine, Killjoy.
Reloading.
Can be.
Caution on my way.
Hey, chill.
Drop in a smoke.
You won't have nearly enough explosive damage to defend them. But remember the most valuable asset of all, the roof cleaners. Since we managed to stall the 2 extra waves of potato mines before our defense got vaporized, now in the next 2 waves, there won't be any zombies spawning in those. And since this is the wave before the final wave, it means that the final wave now won't spawn anything in those lanes
30
before roof
seconds
cleaners.
left.
This is how in
One
short
enemy
levels,
remaining.
we can simply exploit
Spike
long-term
down
game mechanics
A.
to cheese out waves that would otherwise be incredibly difficult. And I imagine you can see how we just win now. So I'll just speed up the gameplay now and let's move on to level 8-6. Level 8-6. It's now time for, jalapeno zombies.
10 seconds
Every
left.
time they show up, our entire defense gets completely obliterated because of how volatile they are, since they explode 5 times quicker in this mod. But this level is the first time we have winter melons unlocked against jalapeno zombies, so I'm hoping they will help us out because nothing else other than instant kill spam has been viable against them. And with
Can you talk?
Hello.
Yeah, you can. Wait,
Need a drop.
Weh, anjing.
Bayang. Oh, I can drop it.
Weh, anjing. Bentar, gak kopi.
Brother, chamber, what are you looking at? Oh, nice one.
Okay, come back.
You got it too, it's okay, man. Just hold it.
Gak terbiasa anjir pakai crosshair ini.
There they are. Enemy spotted B.
One enemy remaining.
Nice one.
Yeah, just spike down.
Cut run.
My turn. One enemy remaining.
Hey.
Last player standing.
Nice.
Heart's racing.
Not A, bro.
Inspect the company.
It's like a dance. A really violent dance.
Winter Melons certainly did not disappoint us in the early game. They did very well against football zombies with their freezing effects, and we didn't even need any wall plants. But does the Winter Melon freezing effect stop the jalapeno zombies from exploding? No, they don't. The jalapeno zombie literally exploded before it even went into the water. That's how
Kok nggak bisa ya gimana sih cara ngomong kayak gitu?
Here, stop. Hey.
Right there. Revealing area.
ineffective winter melons are against them.
Unveiled.
And I guess you could expect what was left of our defense by the end of this level. Literally nothing. Well, I was the first one to call that out from a mile away. But if you just need to doubt me even more on how ridiculous the jalapeno zombies are, even choppers are ineffective at stopping them. Their high health and extremely short fuse are simply impossible to deal with using any attacking plan. So I decided to try out a new strategy in my next run
One close
in
spike.
hopes of finally finding a solution to jalapeno zombies once and for all. This is a wacky strategy using gold magnet and imitative which is a pretty neat idea in theory, since hypnotized zombies are unaffected by jalapeno zombie explosions. I also found out that they hard counter all-star zombies because it negates their charge ability, so that is an even more of a reason to use Goat Magnet. And if there's a giant football zombie, Cattail's high single target damage can single them out no matter where they are, making this a pretty
Yeah,
potent
okay.
strategy. However, there was a major flaw. We didn't have a counter against pole vaulting zombies, since they don't get blocked by hypnotized zombies, which is a major issue. Soon, I find myself with no umbrella
Okay,
leaf.
now you can bend. Yeah, thank you.
Spike down B.
What the fuck? Why you pick? I want to hold.
Scanning ahead.
Planting.
Spike planted. Last player standing.
He says their bullets tickle.
Protecting our cattails, and our defense is thoroughly demolished within just a few waves yet again. This time, there weren't even jalapeno zombies that showed up, so it just goes to show that this strategy is also not viable for this level. So once again, we had to return to our old trusted friend Copkid, which can clear out the early game very easily.
Stop here.
Need some help. Away. Someone's there. Right there.
Spike down A.
Front of you, bro.
One enemy remaining.
You did your best. Just wasn't enough. Find the weakest link. Kick him in the shin.
Just like the previous levels where we have used it. However, giant football zombies pose serious problems for cop cannons since they take 3 explosions to be killed, which is a significant amount of cop shots we will have to spend dealing with just one zombie. With only about 8 cop cannons, we could not replace.
Oh yes, it's here. Side. Get on side.
Enemy spotted B.
Last player standing. Spike planted.
Replenish our supply of explosives quickly enough to also deal with the jalapeno zombies, so we just lost our entire defense even faster than all the other strategies we've tried so far. So there is no way cop cannons will be the answer here, right? Well, let's not jump to conclusions since there are plenty of ways to supplement cop cannons. Magnishroom is one of them since we can remove football helmets to make football zombies die in one hit instead. But Magnishroom did not provide enough value to be worthwhile. Giant football zombies without a helmet still require 2 more cop shots to be killed, and with only 8 cop cannons, we're still a bit off from having enough cop shots to...
Oh dear.
Enemy spotted A.
What?
Reloading. Take flight. Enemy tap.
They will run. They will run. Up you. Up.
standing. Spike planted.
To defend off both the football and jalapeno zombies. Another approach we can take is to make our cop shots more efficient.
Last
We can
round
do that
in
by
the half.
bringing in tall nut to block off the all-star zombies, grouping them up with the slower zombies in the wave, so we can hit more zombies with the same cop shot. Though tall nut survives an all-star charge, it comes with its own problems. The biggest one being that it moves towards the right after being planted. So against giant football zombies, it doesn't stall for long enough and we still end up losing our cop cannons. But one plant outclasses both Mat Mushroom and Tall Nut, which is Pumpkin, since it stalls the football zombies and...
Dapat.
Gadget fun! My turn!
Get out of my way!
They will go!
Really. Close.
You should run. Spike planted.
Drop in a smoke. Enemy spotted B. Enemy spotted B.
Last player standing.
Like I never left! My ult is ready.
Someone that.
No.
Last player standing. Ace.
Why you don't defuse, bro?
Switching sides.
They don't have a single life worth
and also transforms into a squash upon death. However, one often overlooked part of Squash and Pumpkin is that they have a 25% chance of freezing all zombies upon squashing, which is an unreliable but powerful effect. While that may be unreliable, the freezing effect is very important to us here because we need that extra time to reload our cop shots and also have some additional instant kills that can deal some damage. And even if we don't get a freeze, just the squash attack itself is very useful to pick off the lone football zombies. But with a slow cooldown, it recharges too frequently to reliably deal with the football zombies on its own, and it takes time to activate. So in a situation like this, it cannot be a
Drop in a smoke.
Shot down. Spike dropped.
No peeking.
Top.
Up.
Last player standing.
Ronaldo.
substitute for Squash.
Nice.
Though I will say, I was pleasantly surprised that this strategy actually worked out much better than I expected. The freeze is unreliable, but very good since it buys out time for us before jalapeno zombies explode, unlike the Winter Melon's Brave Freeze. However, this will only work if we can somehow defend our cop cannons from this onslaught, and I don't really see a way of doing this. Or can we? Instead of going for Imitator Cop Cannon, we can actually go for Imitator Squash instead, which sounds dumb, because why wouldn't you want 8 Cop Cannons by the first lag? Well, it turns out, we don't need that many Cop Cannons since Cherry Bomb is goated. We can then further optimize the amount of cop shots we need to spend by simply getting lucky with our Squash and freezing the zombies. But this run really didn't fully showcase the power of the Squash, because we were...
I got the spike.
Revealing area.
Dropping smoke.
One fly, one fly. Take one fly.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
We're extremely unlucky with them. You'd expect at least one of the squashes here to freeze this next wave, but we went 0 for 4. Then, Bungie zombies came and destroyed 2 more of our quote-unquote squashes, and the next squash we placed also didn't freeze. That's just plain unlucky that we got no freezes from 7 squashes in a row. In fact, we will not get another freeze for 2 more waves, but I think you can see that we have a bigger problem by then. So, how do we beat this level? Well, a famous person once said that insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, but expecting different results. So I guess I'm an insane person then.
Wah, anjir di belakang.
Out of charge.
I flash. One call. Shotgun.
Revealing area.
Got cat.
Reloading. Shock dart. On my mark. Shock dart. Right there. Someone's there. Right there. Wingman's down. Right there.
I have this fight.
Right there.
Wait.
Parasite. One enemy remaining.
Flank, maybe.
Reloading.
Oh, from
Yeah,
it.
flank.
Oh, yeah.
I have them. Here.
Back to mid.
I'm sorry, but I could not help myself.
But for a good reason. You see, since Squash's abilities to freeze is luck-based, if we just play this level enough times, there will eventually be a run where we get enough lucky freezes to beat the level. If that sounds completely stupid, that's because it is. If the pumpkin I just showed you froze the zombies, this pole vaulter would have been caught in the explosion of the cop shot. But now, we lose the cop cannon. In fact, we actually lost because they're...
Right there.
Cutting their vision.
Deploying drone. This is us. Wingman's gonna plant strike.
Look at this flank.
Reloading. Reloading.
Last player standing. Match point.
It seems these strangers want me dead.
There was a second pole vaulter in the same wave who leapt past our roof cleaner and straight into our chimney. Well, isn't that a great way to end it? Even after multiple attempts to try and improve on our cop cannon usage, I still seem to struggle against the pole vaulters no matter what I did. But time is on our side, and we can play the level again. After an hour long of grueling attempts, I finally had a glimmer of hope and I made it.
Cutting their vision.
Enemy spotted B. Found them.
Still in sight.
The hunt begins.
Reloaded. Somebody's there. Right there. Spike planted.
What? Kiko.
One enemy remaining.
Revealing it.
They barely work the effort.
We are strong because we are together. Don't forget that.
into the Blood Moon with 4 of our cop kittens still alive. But there are so many football zombies across the whole board, how was I going to counter the rest of the zombies after killing the biggest threats with no more shots at the ready? This is where we needed RNGesus to save us. And thankfully, this imitator squash gave us a freeze, giving us just that.
Nowhere to run!
Dropping smoke. Yeah, catch.
Get inside.
That little bit of extra time we needed to stall, and I lost that roof cleaner in the bottom lane intentionally, which is all part of my master plan.
My ult is ready.
Since that roof cleaner just activated, now every zombie is clumped into 4 lanes, meaning 1 cop shot is all we need to meet the 50% roof threshold and send in the next wave. So I could do this again with another cop shot, and now you can see where this is going. I'm just rushing every single wave as quickly as possible in a sprint to try and get as much roof cleaner value as possible, while using squash and tangle cups to clean up as many of the stray zombies as I can. And now, when we do get overwhelmed, we can have roof cleaners to wipe out multiple waves of zombies at once. And by simply protecting the top lane's pool cleaner, we can use it to clear out the rest of the zombies in the final wave. With the Blood Moon being over, we can easily stall everything out, and now just squashes or pumpkins are enough to clean up the stragglers. On the final wave, just 2 cop cannon shots are required and we clear out everything on the ground, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we beat level 8-6.
Kitchen.
Until next time, on Total Death Edition.
Last player standing. 1 enemy remaining.
Brother.
You know, I could just outlive them.
Nah, bullets are quicker.
I got the spike. I got the spike. No peeking.
Take flight.
You're putting the sofa.
Have one of these.
One enemy remaining. Cutting their vision.
Shut down.
Team A.
Is ready.
Still breathing. Very good.
Let us see what they have planned for us this time.
Find their weakness. Careful
Get
here.
out of my way.
Well drawn.
Enemy marked. Revealing area.
Cutting their vision.
That's not it, not it.
Back like I never left.
Last player standing. Defenders win.
The hunt begins!
Mình lấy con này rồi man.
The Football Confederation have just announced they are relocating the World Cup qualifier match between Iran and Qatar to a neutral venue they're now going to play in Dubai. And that is of course due to safety concerns over the ongoing tensions and violence in big parts of the Middle East, including Iran. Cristianos Al Nassr are facing Iranian side Esteghlal FC in the Asian Champions League very soon as well. And the AFC are also switching this match to another country. And these decisions are totally understandable. Safety first, right? But wait, didn't the AFC just disqualify Indian side Mohun Bagan from the Asian Europa League equivalent just because they didn't want to travel to Iran to play Iranian side Tractor there, who play in a stadium where you can literally watch the rockets flying above you? This was one day before Mohun Bagan was supposed to travel and play there. But the AFC doesn't care. They just went out and disqualified Mohun Bagan from the competition for not wanting to play here. Safety matters, of course, I fully agree with you on that. But why does it not matter for Indian sides? Let me know your thoughts on this. I just find it unbelievable how Indian football has been robbed again. Look, the Asian football
That's not the Yes, I need somebody that I love a little somebody. Yes, I love
Only 2 more until I instead will go to space. It's impossible for him to stop me. Unless he has a... Wait.
Step.
Udah mulai, Cok. Aku nonton YouTube.
Go! Gotta go! Gotta go!
Hah?
Spike planted. No. Last player standing.
Unless he has a... Wait.
Jangan kepancing, ini puasa. Sabar, puasa.
Lain kali keretanya fokus ya bang.
Abang juga ya bang, kalau mau belok hati-hati, lihat-lihat dulu.
Kayaknya nggak baik kalau kita saling menyalahkan di bulan puasa
Last
gini.
player standing.
Aku juga puasa bang, karena abang juga yang lalai.
Karena bang tadi yang belok tiba-tiba, terkejut lah aku bang. Keluar gitu.
Karena aku tadi udah masang lampu sen bang. Kalau tadi aku masang
sandalnya, Bang?
belok, baru aku yang salah.
Kayaknya abang lah yang salah bang.
Kartu merah.
Maaf kali bang.
Aku yang salah, aku yang salah.
Tukar.
Abang yang salah bang.
Itu bang, abang yang salah.
Abang.
Abang.
Allahu Akbar.
Mau ya anjing.
Babi kau.
Lanjut tadi makan apa? Arsik.
Gotta go.
Iya.
Gotta go. I'm out of here. Go. Spike planted.
Jangan.
Salah bang.
Itu bang, abang yang salah.
Abang.
Bang.
Last player standing.
Mau ya anjing.
Babi kau.
Cuman ini.
Jangan kepancing, ini puasa. Sabar, puasa.
Lain kali bawa keretanya fokus ya bang.
Abang juga ya bang, kalau mau belok hati-hati, lihat-lihat dulu.
Kayaknya nggak baik kalau kita saling menyalahkan di bulan puasa gini.
Aku juga puasa, harusnya abang yang salah.
Abang yang salah bang.
Gak bisa gitu bang, abang yang salah.
Abang.
Abang.
I'm out of here. Gotta go. Gotta go. Next spike planted.
Take flight.
Go. I'm out of here. One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Sempat kalah tadi.
Sempat kebetulan. Bang, phantomnya apa?
My ultimate is ready.
Oh nih lah.
Spike diffused.
Vanilla. Kenapa juga pakai kado?
Nggak mau.
We will claw our way back up to
Nah, Oni.
Tukar time lah.
Go. I'm out of here.
Allahu Akbar.
Mau ya anjing.
Babi kau.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Spike down, C.
Begins.
One enemy remaining.
Garis-garis bang.
Too slow. Not a
Ah,
chance.
kenapa aku terus yang kena sih?
Go. I can buy. Who needs what?
Ah, yang kena.
Gotta go.
Tadi menang bang, kalah.
Kalah.
Go. Quick feet, quick trigger. away.
Hey.
I'm out of here.
Aduh, 113. Bangke.
Kena lagi loh. Spike planted. Last player standing.
This reminds me.
Here are more extreme revenge stories from hit. This video is brought to you by War Thunder. Here are more extreme revenge stories from history. Number 1, Pierre Picot. If you had unlimited money, how far would you go to get revenge on friends who betrayed you? It's the turn of the 19th century in Napoleonic France, and for 25-year-old shoemaker Pierre Picot, life's going great. Though he isn't rich, he's in love with a beautiful woman named Marguerite Vigoureux, and surprisingly, she loves him too. After dating for a while,
Gotta go.
Low, very low. Fight.
One enemy remaining. Spike down, C. Your tactics failed.
Spike spotted. C.
Cok, aku nembak ada yang mati, Cok. Pakai
I'm
ultinya.
out of here.
Harus di-flank biar mereka ini. Lihat belakang biar gak
while
fokus.
Pierre finds out that Marguerite is actually from a noble family and is very wealthy. Didn't really matter to Pierre, but what a bonus! He asks Marguerite to marry him and she says
Kalau
yes.
dia mereka cepet kan loh
Overwhelmed with
menangnya.
joy, he rushes to tell his friends, Lupion, Solari, and Shubao, and invites them all to his wedding. Now, you would expect friends to be happy if one of
I am the hunter.
I'm out of here. You gotta go. Back like I never left.
One enemy remaining.
Team, nice team. Nice team, nice team.
Tara na. Go. Need a drop. Gotta go. Salamat. Thanks. Gotta go. I'm out of here. Gotta go. Go. I'm out of here. Enemy spotted. Mid. Go.
Awas B-nya.
Spike planted.
Got one. Go away. Go. I'm out of here. This way. Gotta go.
There they are.
Pew.
Last player standing.
Gotta go. This way. Here, come in the shed. Go.
their buddies was about to marry a girl who was not only beautiful but also rich. But Pierre's friends were also poor, and instead of being happy for him, they got insanely jealous instead. Lupion in particular feels Pierre does not deserve this kind of luck, and he comes up with a prank to tell the police that Pierre is a British spy. He kinda expects it to be not that big a deal, but remember, this is Napoleonic France.
Watch out! I'm out of here. My ult's ready.
Deploying drone.
Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
You will not kill my ally.
One enemy remaining.
Apa lah nih buat dia. Kak, kasih kak.
Reloading.
Defuse the spike.
My thanks.
Kalian dapat reload.
Jangan pas timnya.
Weapon here.
Hitam. Warna-warni, Cok.
I'm out of here.
Need a drop. Selamat,
I'm out of here. Gotta go. Gotta go.
Go.
I'm out of here.
Kan bak.
Apa kak?
Almost there.
Kan.
Adapt or die.
Go.
Skedaddle.
France, and they're at war with
Spike
Britain.
planted.
So this is actually a pretty serious accusation. And the police, well, they take
Last
it
player
seriously.
standing.
In the middle of the night, on the eve of his wedding, Pierre is arrested and thrown in the Fenestrel fortress. Turns out a testimony from 3 close friends was all the evidence that was needed to lock him up. He gets no trial, and nobody's told where he is or what happened to him. As far as everyone knows, Pierre simply vanished in the night. On their wedding day, Marguerite is left standing at the altar. She's destroyed and mourns for Pierre for 2 years, but eventually she moves on and marries Lupion, Pierre's one-time friend who got him thrown in prison in the first place.
Last round before
Back
the
in the
switch.
dungeon at Fenestrel, Pierre has absolutely no idea why he's there. After 2 years with no contact with anyone other than prison guards, he scrapes a hole through his prison wall and finds an elderly man on the other side. This man is an Italian priest named Father Tori, and the two become friends. Years go by, and after gaining his trust, Father Tori tells Pierre that he's wealthy and has a hidden fortune in Milan. A few more years pass, and Father Tori has become frail and is nearing death.
The hunt begins.
Ya, udah tau lah kemana kan.
Ada. Ada nggak?
Semua di situ,
I'm out of here. Shocking.
Pierre is heartbroken as he's about to lose his only friend. But before he passes, Father Tori gives Pierre a map to his treasure. Father Tori dies in prison, and coincidentally, the very same year, Napoleon is sent into exile. With Napoleon gone, all of his prisoners are set free, including Pierre, who steps out into the light of day for the first time in 7 years. The time in the dungeon has been rough, and he's completely unrecognizable compared to the young man he once was. His face, body, and walk are all broken from years in prison. At first glance, he now appears to be closer to 50 than a man in his 30s. Pierre travels to Milan and finds Father Tori's treasure. His dear friend is not lying, and he's now made him rich beyond belief. He travels back to France with his wealth and a new name, and runs into a friend named Antoine Alou, who, by the way, did not recognize Pierre at all. Pierre offers Alou a diamond in exchange for information about what happened to a man named Pierre Picot, and he tells him the story of the prank by his 3 friends and about Lupion's marriage to Marguerite. Pierre gives Alou the diamond and walks away furious. 7 years of suffering, the loss of the love of his life.
Gotta go. I'm out of here. We're good. Refreshing.
Heal, please.
Plan reloading.
Reloading. Enemy spotted A. Enemy spotted A.
That's 3.
Right here.
One enemy remaining.
Go. Right here.
Help.
bang ang skin, ang bili to bang skin baru. Skin.
Okay lang.
Go, go, go!
So, kinambil ko pa.
Spending too many brain cells figuring them out. I'm out of here. Just as
If all caused by men he had once considered to be his best friends. Now, with infinite resources and nothing but time, Pierre begins to plot his revenge against the men who had destroyed his life. But before we see just how extreme Pierre got with his revenge, and War Thunder new players goes 7 days from his marriage to the revenge.
Gotta go!
Scanning ahead.
I'm out of here. Shortcut!
Bitin guys.
Silence. Shut down.
Mana kawan ko.
While Pierre was gone, Lupion had used some of his newfound wealth from his marriage to Marguerite to open a cafe in Paris. When he found out about this, Pierre, again completely unrecognizable to anyone who knew him before, applies to work at the cafe as a waiter. He's a hard worker and quickly gains Lupion's trust. While on a shift serving food and drinks, he sees his old friends have all stayed in touch, and Solari and Chaubert frequently come in to hang out with Lupion. He had found all of his targets, and now his revenge tour could finally begin. A few weeks after Pierre begins working at Lupion's cafe, Chaubert's body is found dead in an alley, stabbed with a knife with a handle engraved with the number 1. A few days later, while walking home after eating at Lupion's cafe, Solari falls and starts foaming at the mouth. His doctor examines him and informs him he's been poisoned. He dies the next day. At the viewing of his body, a note with the number 2 is found pinned to Solari's chest.
Go, go, go!
Lupion is freaked out by the sudden deaths of his 2 close friends. But hey, at least his new waiter is doing a good job.
Through the calm,
Bonjour!
I see.
You
Through the storm, I
So
fight.
Pierre's revenge...
I'm out of here.
Take flight. I've lost the spike. I have retrieved the
I
spike.
have the spike.
Gotta go!
Kotek gak sih? Rame loh.
Go, go!
Help!
I'm out of here. Shortcut!
Barrier created.
Bang ini.
Oh yeah.
Revenge admittedly has been pretty vanilla so far, but this is where it starts to get wild. Because Lupion was the one who came up with the
Last
idea that
player
got Pierre
standing.
thrown in prison in the first
Standing
place.
ahead.
Plus, he married his girl when he was gone. For this friend, a simple death would just not do. Lupion needs to suffer. Lupion has 2 adult children from a previous marriage, and this is where Pierre chooses to begin his revenge. Lupion's daughter is courted by a noble, and they fall in love. They plan an extravagant wedding with 150
Stay
esteemed
alive.
guests.
I hate
During the
making
wedding dinner, the groom is running a little late, and a note is placed in front of each guest.
Reloading.
Upon reading the note, the dinner guests discover that the groom is in fact not a noble, but is actually a criminal that is again on the run. It turns out Pierre had paid this man a large sum to seduce Lupion's daughter and ruin her what.
Madengat kenapa?
Ribet.
Tukar tempat time.
Deep breath.
Gotta go!
Revealing area.
Gotta go!
Reloading.
I am the hunter.
Ah!
Wedding. Lupion and his family are humiliated, and the daughter dies from shock a week later. Next, Lupion's son is arrested for participating in a robbery while drunk and sentenced to 20 years in prison. The son objects, saying he did nothing wrong, but the evidence is there. Evidence that was planted by Pierre. During sentencing, the police report anonymous bribes pushing for the death penalty. On top of all of this, while away at the wedding, Lupion's cafe is set on fire and he loses everything. Marguerite dies due to the stress of all the misfortune that seems to be coming their way, and Lupion is left homeless, penniless, and all alone. With his friend's entire life now completely destroyed, Pierre finally reveals to Lupion that he was in fact not a 50-year-old waiter, but a once former friend whom he had betrayed. Pierre stabs Lupion in the heart with a knife engraved with the number 3, killing him instantly. Had that been the end of it, we probably would never know about this story, but Alut catches Pierre in the act and holds him hostage. Alut heard Pierre's confession and tries to extort him for his fortune, but with his revenge now complete, Pierre does not care and is content to die. In frustration, Alut beats Pierre and runs away to England, where he tells others of this story on his deathbed years later. Days later, the police find Pierre starving and beaten, and he tells them the same story of his grand revenge before passing away from his injuries. Number 2, Vlad the Impaler and the Boyars. So you may have heard about this guy Vlad Dracula before, who is the inspiration for the more famous vampire of the same name. And you may have also heard of his nickname, Vlad the Impaler. But do you know how he got his nickname? It's pretty brutal, so buckle up. In the 15th century, an area called Wallachia is sandwiched between the Kingdom of Hungary to its north and the Ottoman Empire to its south. Wallachia is ruled by a man named Vlad II, and he's in a tough spot. See, Hungary and the Ottoman Empire hated each other, and they both wanted to control Wallachia. So Vlad II is caught in the middle, and he knows that if he shows too much loyalty to one side, the other will get pissed and try to...
Okay. I'm out of here. Gotta go.
Jetsi.
I'm out of here.
Vice and Jetsi, Vice and Jetsi.
Go, go, go. Go, go, go.
Defeated.
One enemy remaining. Spike down. C.
Revealing area.
to invade his territory. He sends 2 of his sons to the Ottoman Empire as hostages, as a way to show them that he won't side with the Hungarians. This might have all worked, but a group of nobles called the Boyars are tired of Vlad II. They've gained a lot of wealth and power through the instability of Wallachia, and this stability is hurting their bottom line. So in 1447, they decide to work with the new ruler of Hungary, a man named John Hunyadi, to overthrow Vlad II. The Boyars kill Vlad II and capture his oldest son Mircea. They blind Mircea with red-hot iron stakes and then bury him alive. John Hunyadi and the Boyars instill a new ruler over Wallachia, a guy named Vladislav II, and word gets back to Vlad II's sons in the...
Gotta go!
Deploying drone.
Enemy spotted A. Go, go, go! Stop it! Almost out. Healing you.
Scanning ahead.
Have a kit.
Last player standing. Spike down A.
the Ottoman Empire. One of Vlad's sons, named Vlad III? Did they not have any other names back then? You know what, let's just call him Vlad Dracula to keep things less confusing. Anyways, Dracula gets word of this and is enraged. He heads back to Wallachia to avenge his father and regain his throne. With Wallachia now secured, John Hunyadi and Vladislav go off to fight the Ottoman Empire. And while they're gone, Vlad Dracula and his men try to retake his father's throne. Turns out, it was a little more complicated than just walking in unannounced when the new ruler was away.
Take's over.
Reloading.
Two here.
I'm out of here.
Mama!
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
Gotcha, fun. My turn.
I have the spike.
So nice, bro.
Within 2 months, John Hunyadi and Vladislav return to Wallachia to kick Vlad Dracula out again. He spends the next 8 years wandering between different regions trying to build support to regain the throne. During those 8 years, the boyars begin to sour on their new guy Vladislav because it turns out he's less corrupt than they thought. This leads to the new king of Hungary working with Vlad Dracula to unseat him. Some sources say that Dracula challenges Vladislav to a duel and kills him with his father's sword to retake the throne. But in any event, Dracula is back as ruler of Wallachia. He sends some of his men out to find the body of his brother. They find his grave and dig him up and report back to Dracula of the horrific burn marks on his skull near his eyes. The stories of what the boyars had done to his family were true, and Dracula decides that they must pay. Meanwhile, the boyars were glad that Vladislav was now gone. Back to business as usual. But this Vlad Dracula guy, he might not be too fond of them. You know, after all the killing his dad and brother stuff. They debate whether or not to assassinate him, but on Easter Sunday in 1457, Dracula invites the boyars to a feast to celebrate the holy holiday. They arrive thinking everything's cool now. They're dressed in their best clothing and bring their wives and children to Vlad's castle. The feast is laid out and it is amazing. Vlad Dracula wines and dines them and they all eat until they're stuffed. At the end of the meal, Vlad stands and asks the boyars, "How many rulers have you seen in your lifetime?" The boyars, feeling very comfortable, begin to laugh. 10, some say. Some say 20. The oldest of them say 30. Even the kids chime in and say they've seen at least 7 different rulers. The smile on Dracula's face slowly turns into a scowl. He then asks the boyars how...
Go, go, go!
Deploying drone.
Through A at least. 5 central.
Alto.
Here.
How is it possible to have so many different rulers, yet the boyars are still the same? Immediately, the dining hall is swarmed with Dracula's men. They grab the boyars and lead them outside. As the nobles exit the castle, they're horrified to see a line of pointed wooden stakes protruding from the ground. The oldest of the boyars are lifted up by Dracula's men and placed butt first onto the sharp stakes. Their families can do nothing but watch in horror as the men thrash and scream in agony. The lucky die instantly as gravity pulls their bodies towards the ground. The unlucky survive for days, impaled with their feet dangling in the air. The wives and children are then forced to march for 2 days without food or water to a cliffside where they find nothing but a mountain of bricks. They're told to carry the bricks to the top of the cliff and build Dracula's new castle. With no choice, the wives and children work on the castle until they die of starvation or their bodies break down from the intense labor and they fall off the cliff. The castle, called Poyanati, was the inspiration for the home of the fictional vampire Dracula, and its ruins can still be visited in Romania today. Number 3, Basil II and Tsar Samuel. Sometimes revenge is born from loyalty and honor, like in the last story. But sometimes it's simply a giant middle finger to someone who's made your life miserable for a long time. And in this case, it was one gruesome middle finger. Basil II became the sole emperor of the Byzantine Empire.
Ada walk.
Iya.
Go, go, go!
Bang, jangan mati bang.
Take this! I'm out of here! Your duty is not over!
One enemy remaining. Match point.
We can end it now. Once more.
I'm out of here!
Empire at the young age of 18 and almost immediately was forced to deal with all kinds of bullshit. Many people within and around the empire saw a young and inexperienced ruler and thought, hey, now might be a great time for a good old-fashioned uprising. And rise up they did. First, Basil was forced to deal with 2 aristocrats who had
Apa kak?
Lagi 2 kill biar 10.
Go, go, go!
Revealing area.
I'm out of here! Shortcut!
Bang, kami terkunci ya.
Oh alah.
Quietly amassed armies within his empire. Surprising many of his haters, the young emperor put down this rebellion and stabilized his country for the first time in years. But the conflict inside his empire was only the start of his long list of issues. There were also many groups outside of the empire who were just as excited to test the young emperor and try to take a piece of Byzantine for themselves. And that brings us to the subject of this story, in what is probably one of the most savage acts of revenge in human history, and the reason Basil II earned his metal nickname, the Bulgar Slayer. While Basil was busy sending his own citizens into permanent timeouts for their rebellions, a man who eventually became known as Tsar Samuel was busy rebuilding the Bulgarian Empire in the Balkans. The Bulgarians under Samuel began taking Byzantine land, and Basil finally had time to deal with this troublemaker. Over the next few decades, through many battles, Basil and Samuel developed a deep hatred for one another, and the heat only got hotter after the Bulgarians killed one of Samuel's favorite generals, Poteniates. Things were now personal for Basil, and on July 29, 1014, in the Battle of Claydon, Basil finally got the revenge he was looking for. Basil soundly defeated Samuel and captured 15,000 of his men. Fueled by rage over the death of his friend Poteniates, Basil comes up with a gruesome punishment that would inflict maximum pain and suffering on his rival. First, Basil divided the prisoners into groups.
Need a drop. Salamat, thanks.
Warna hitam. Oi.
Gotta go.
Groups of 100 men. Next, he ordered his men to blind 99 of the men in these groups using knives or burning hot metal rods. One by one, Basil's soldiers performed this.
Thanks.
I'm out of here. Go, go, go! My ult's ready.
Tar dulu. Woi.
This, let's go.
Woi.
I'm out of here. Barrier created. I'm out of here.
Last player standing.
Fun. My turn.
This horrific procedure on their prisoners, and when they get to the
Santai
last
aja,
man in
guys.
each group, they leave him with one eye. Basil then sets them free and tells them to go back home. The blinded men, now completely dependent on the 150 spared with one eye, wander together in darkness and agony back to their homeland, unable to ever fight again, and destined to become burdens on Samuel's society. When he sees his men arrive home, Tsar Samuel is so horrified that he suffers a heart attack and passes away 2 days later. Number 4, Crumb and Nikephoros I. So we're gonna stick in the same area as the last story, but just roll back the clock a few centuries.
Salamat, thanks.
Now that I think about it, maybe that last story is a sort of revenge for this story.
Cerita kecil. Pura-pura aja. Dapat 1 atau 2 gitu.
Go, go, go. Gotta go. Get out of my way.
Kecil bang.
Ikaw siya tanong ito.
Kecil bang.
Coming through. I'm out of here.
Digit.
Pelan aja. Bisa nggak sih nggak buka kali gitu?
Go, go, go. I'm out of here. Die.
Dalam bang.
Go, go, go.
One enemy remaining. Attackers win.
There we go! Shocking!
Many fronts.
Anyways, let's just get into it. It's the turn of the 9th century and Bulgaria is under the rule of a Khan named Krum. Through his efforts, Bulgaria has expanded its territory and is now a rival in terms of military power to its neighbor, the once invincible Eastern Roman Empire. The Romans at this time had lost a bunch of territory and were also suffering from a lot of internal religious conflicts. Seeing this from the outside, the Bulgars were starting to test the borders between the two states, just, to see how strong the Romans really were. The Emperor of the Eastern Roman Empire, Nikephoros I, did not like this, and he was determined to show the world that the Romans had not fallen off. He spends a year building an army and decides to invade Bulgaria to prove it, and in 811, his campaign against Krum begins.
Match found.
What the fuck is it? Not patience again. Mid. Sige na.
Nothing stays hidden from me. Nothing.
We'll start with the horrible and end with the horrific. Number 5, whipping boys. Imagine you're in the classroom in Renaissance England, and your hard-ass teacher just caught your buddy cheating on his Latin exam. The teacher walks over to him, breaks out his baton, but instead of pummeling your friend, he starts beating you instead. Well, this was your life if you were a whipping boy. A whipping boy was a young servant or companion who would be assigned to a prince or a young nobleman to get beaten in his place if the high-status boy ever misbehaved or underperformed academically. Royal tutors would virtually always hold lower status than nobility, and since it was considered inappropriate to physically strike a prince or a future king, the whipping boy solved the problem of a teacher getting mad at a student and having nobody to take out their frustrations on. Usually, the whipping boys would be selected from lower status families that lived near the noble household. Their lower status made the people beating them feel better about the situation, and since in those days it was widely believed that beatings were necessary and even essential to the moral and disciplinary upbringing of young men, they found themselves getting bruised and bloodied on a pretty regular basis. Now, receiving a beating that was intended for someone else sucks enough, but it gets worse. Obviously,
This is a nice spot.
Heal me.
I don't have. Alright.
Cypher, come here.
Cypher, it's a main.
Ada
Kamera,
nggak?
Cypher.
No, nothing.
Oh, kamera kamu.
Pyramid.
My camera is destroyed. Spike down A.
Spike on A.
One enemy remaining.
Last mid.
Spikes here.
30
Cage
seconds
trigger.
left.
Here.
Main, A main.
Nice.
That's a good run.
Outlaw ski?
This should do.
Leave that sword with me.
That goes there. Ah, this is a nice spot.
Spike down A.
Careful, Rati. Careful me.
No mid, no mid.
I can heal you, Jack. I think smoke mid.
Camera taken out.
Mid.
Thank you.
Mid. B.
Kayak ada di A loh.
30 seconds left.
Apa sih?
Spike
52.
down B.
Cyber 52.
One enemy remaining.
There can only be one.
Ada Sheriff nggak bang?
No.
If they try something, I'll see it.
Inilah itu bosnya.
Ya mana mau dibuat? Mereka ke B, ada yang di B.
This goes here.
Get lost lagi.
Reloading.
Aku misalnya lagi semua.
This should do.
In.
Here, this one. Planting A.
Planting it.
Spike planted.
There's still one B.
Last player standing.
Close.
Time to hunt.
Back in those days, punishments were a little more severe, so some of these tutors really went to town. In addition to beatings with sticks and whippings with palms, one common punishment technique included making the whipping boy kneel on dry corn cobs. We can only assume that this was because Legos weren't invented yet. Now, if you can believe it, there actually were some upsides.
Itu di B, di A aja nggak sih?
Di B. Jawab apa Naudi ah? Apa kak? Mau kakak?
Oni.
I need this. My thanks.
Kakak bang setup di A sekarang.
Ah, nggak mau ah.
Where are you?
Di B gampang retake, kalau di A susah.
Kompetitif kali ya kak? Anjay.
Tag. Cage triggered. Tripwire is done. No more charges left. Where is everyone hiding? My ultimate is ready.
Spike planted.
Healing over here.
Wait.
One enemy remaining.
Shadows traveling.
You can defuse.
Last player standing.
Bayangkan last balik coba jangan betul kan?
These parasites aren't going to take one step past this place.
Tapi miskin kok.
Minggir lu.
Let's open.
Ready for first there.
Stay safe.
Ah, this goes here. Yes, this should do.
Time to hunt.
Scan your flash.
You want the flash?
Wait.
Someone's mid.
Flash.
Spike down A.
Oh shit.
I know exactly where cage triggered.
One enemy remaining. Spike down A.
Jatuh dia.
Go kill it.
Bro, why are you stealing my kill?
Damn right we're crushing it.
Sekalinya masuk langsung mati, cok.
That goes there.
Nampaknya harus.
I need this.
Ah, this is a nice spot. Yes, this should do.
Get out of my way.
Careful, B.
No one here yet.
Ah, my eyes are down.
Mid.
Smoke B.
Cage triggered.
Reloading.
Deleted. Tripwire destroyed.
Oh, one. Ay.
Caught one. Cage triggered destroyed.
Oh, already flank. Jet flank.
Spike planted.
70 on soba.
Last player standing.
You're behind. I don't know.
Sides to being a whipping boy. The entire basis for this punishment relied on the fact that the prince or nobility actually cared about their whipping boy. If the prince didn't care about the boy being beat down in his place, he probably wouldn't change his behavior, and it would be a pretty ineffective form of punishment. So for this reason, the whipping boy was usually a close friend of the prince. They would study together, train together, and hang out with each other on a pretty regular basis. They were basically the prince's wingman. To go from a peasant to being buddies with the prince, getting the same upbringing and education, even learning the same skills, that's a pretty nice upgrade. As long as you didn't piss the prince off. Or as long as the prince wasn't an idiot. Number 4, castrato. If you were a young boy blessed with a golden singing voice in 16th century Europe, you may have been better off just keeping your mouth shut. Because if word got out, you could
play.
Jet low, headshot.
Careful now. Cage triggered.
I can heal.
Got you. Tripwire destroyed.
Hey.
Enemy down. My ultimate is ready. Give me a corp. Give me a corp. Where is it?
30 seconds left. Spike planted.
It is.
One enemy remaining.
1-5. So far away.
Cage trigger.
Bang, udah nyampe bang.
Spike diffused.
Ih,
Nampak?
apa lah?
Jatuh gitu lucu kali ya. Ini sebenarnya kalau pakai sniper karena ini alasannya. Kasihan musuhnya. Anjay.
Bangnya sini lah kalau dikata.
Aneh kan. Tinggal main aja.
Aku tuh bisa sendiri lah.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
Ada matu nggak di rumah? Ada bang.
Tadi.
Sekarang.
Dekat bisa kalau matu ah. Jemur.
Halo.
Tripwire destroyed.
One minute.
Di mana?
Something's mid. Careful now.
Planting.
Tiba-tiba
Spike planted.
TTP tiba-tiba plant.
Curve lang, curve.
Kak harus lihat klipnya sih kak.
Dua men.
Cage triggered.
One enemy remaining. Last player standing.
Kanan.
Let's go.
This is my My ultimate is ready. Give me a corpse. Give me a corpse. Where will they go this time?
Kakak harus lihat klipnya sih. Jumpa close tadi.
Bang, beli it bang. Jawab ngelak kalau.
Siapa suruh?
Apa pakai kaosnya 60 loh? Pink kakak tengok.
This goes here. Yes, this should do. Oh, this is a nice spot.
Kayak main di Mumbai.
Here.
Camera taken out. Give me a corpse. Give me a corpse. Give me a corpse. Where is everyone hiding?
You could find yourself being made into a castrato. A castrato was a male opera singer who was surgically castrated before puberty to prevent the production of testosterone and ensure that their voice stayed at a high pitch forever. The first castrati were introduced in Europe in the 16th century, when women were banned from choirs on stage. In order to fill the vocal gaps left by the high-pitched women, choirs developed castrati. That probably wasn't a fun call to get. I lost my job! To who? A kid with no ball. Now, as fun as castration sounds, it was probably even worse than you think. Methods varied, but usually a dose of opium was administered to the boy to knock him into a coma. In other cases, pressure would be put on an artery in the neck so the patient would pass out. Once under, the fun would begin. In some cases, the boys got off with just the medieval equivalent of a vasectomy. In others, the testicles themselves were completely removed. But probably the worst method of all would be when the testicles were twisted until they atrophied. If that doesn't make you clench up, I don't know what will. This procedure would usually be done on boys between the ages of 8 and 10 years old, and recovery from the surgery would usually take about 2 weeks. Then, the castrato was ready to take the stage. If they survived the procedure, that is. Sometimes the boys were accidentally given a deadly dose of opium, or the sustained pressure on their arteries would result in their heart stopping. It's also important to mention...
Spike planted. Last player standing.
No how.
One enemy remaining.
4 out of 5.
Care close.
Cage triggered. No more charges left.
Habis na. Sigara ba tap-tap na?
This is crazy. I feel like we've been doing this forever.
Tinggal layar lah dan tap-tap. Musuh dari kita tap-tap.
Oh. Kamu tuh tripwire satu.
That goes there.
Habis itu kamu tinggal aja apa-apa.
Here.
This goes here. Yes, this should do.
You want to play? Let's play.
Eagle eye.
Mana?
Where is everyone?
Spike down A. Last player standing.
B.
30 seconds left. Spike planted. One enemy remaining. One enemy remaining.
Run.
Bang lari bang.
Nice.
Enak aja kalian mau pikir apa kayak mana?
You copies are nothing.
Kira gue orang gimana?
Last round in the half.
Spend everything. We keep nothing.
Cak, kenapa tiba-tiba jadi point nih aimnya? Biasanya lah last reset sebelum meninggal Cak. Lagi jago-jagonya. Pasti next game jadi bapu kali ini.
Mereka kakak lo. Wah.
Siapa suruh main di rumah?
Biasanya kadang enggak. Kenapa siang tumben ya?
This goes here.
Get out of my way!
That none of this was legal, so these procedures took place in shady back rooms by surgeons who had doctorates made out of construction paper. And when asked why their voices never changed, a castrato would have to make up a fake story. While survival wasn't a guarantee, what a castrato received made the prospect worth it. Castrati often had successful and illustrious opera careers, usually after becoming full-grown men. You know, as full-grown as you can be without any testosterone.
Berapa kakak hit? Aku nipu Cok. 2 kali udah itu.
Spike planted.
My God, I'm 40, bro.
The lack of testosterone messed with their bone development and actually contributed to their lung power and their overall vocal ability. Castrati remained prevalent well into the 18th century, but then their popularity began to decline due to both tastes in opera and social attitudes in general. All I know is it must have sucked to be the last castrato who lost his voice for nothing. Number 3. Barber's Apprentice. Barber's Apprentice? Doesn't seem so bad. Sweeping up hair, learning to give people some sick fades. Well, a barber in the Middle Ages was a much different job than what we think of today, and the kids who were barber's apprentices had to do some...
Kalau beli sheriff. Kalau beli sheriff nggak bisa beli skill lain.
Enggak. Sentinel biasanya beli satu utility.
Lihat pin kakak. 200 tadi.
54. Lu bohong gitu lah. Anjay.
Reloading.
Pretty nasty stuff. In the olden days, specifically the Middle Ages in Europe, barbers, or more accurately barber surgeons, not only cut your hair, but were called upon to do all matters of medical procedures. According to one source, barbers were selected because they possessed razors and were dexterous. Seems a little light on the qualifications if you ask me. Barber surgeons would not only cut hair, but perform surgery, bloodletting, amputate limbs, and pull teeth. In fact, the red striping on the iconic barber's pole originally represented the blood from bloodletting or surgeries performed by barbers. Back in those days, being a surgeon didn't carry the same weight it does today. In the Middle Ages, barber surgeons were just everyday workers, and surgery was seen to be on the same professional plane as butchery. And the duties of these young barber apprentices encompassed more than you'd imagine. Because of the wide range of services that barber surgeons offered, the apprentice had a
Ya Allah.
Piss off.
Last player standing.
Low, centang.
Spike planted.
Why are you reloading? You're so close.
ton of tasks to assist with. They would help with medical procedures, starting out small with things like bloodletting, dressing wounds, but eventually working their way up to more complex things, like advanced surgeries and amputations. You have to remember, in some cases, these apprentices were as young as 6 or 7 years old. Imagine being 7 years old and being told you had to saw off a man's arm after he was gored by a boar while out on a hunt. Your master hands you the saw and just watches. Remember what I told you, Cooper, just ignore the screams. You then have to wipe off the bloody instruments and mop all the carnage off the floor, making sure things are spick and span for when the next patient comes in. A 300-pound behemoth with boils all over his butt. I don't know about you.
I have retrieved the spike.
Enemy spotted B.
Cage 3.
Reloading.
Cage 3.
Spike down B.
But I'd probably look into blacksmithing instead. Number 2, toshers. The toilet is kind of a magical invention. You do your business, pull a lever, and like magic, water washes away the shame without a trace. But with great power comes great responsibility. And if something important or valuable like your keys or your limited edition hologram Charizard card somehow ends up flushed down the toilet, you may never see it again. Unless you lived in Victorian England, that is. Back in that time period, there was a job called a tosher. A tosher was someone who went down into the vast London sewer systems.
Shadows traveling.
is killed.
Spike down A.
Careful, Spike. My ultimate's ready.
Apa sih chambernya ini?
Looking for valuable items. Flush toilets were the new rage, and lots of things ended up getting flushed down those magical holes and into the city's complex sewer systems, and toshing became a way for low-income individuals to make ends meet. And of course, people made their kids do it. The employment of children as toshers is pretty self-explanatory. Tiny kids could more easily navigate the tunnels of the sewers, and their small, nimble frames allowed them to access areas that fully grown adults couldn't get to. Of course, this wasn't exactly a super sought-after position, so the children employed as toshers usually came from extremely poor families, and in many cases, their parents sold them into the labor. But the job was so much worse than you could ever imagine. Toshers would wade through the sewage-filled tunnels, looking for jewelry.
You want to play? Let's play.
There's another. Hawk out. Blinded.
Behind you, Spike.
Spike down A.
Why didn't know secrets?
Coins or anything else that could be sold for profit. In addition to being downright disgusting, toshing was also one of the most dangerous jobs in Victorian England. Sewer tunnels flooded often, and many toshers would drown while on the job. The brickwork of the tunnels themselves was quite fragile and could cave in when even brushed up against, and the labyrinth of tunnels was easy to get lost in. A slow, painful death by starvation in the London sewers is the stuff of nightmares. Add to that the constant exposure to human waste and diseases like typhoid and cholera, and you have one of the worst jobs imaginable for anyone, let alone a small child. Oh yeah, and the rats. Diseases aside, the rats in London sewers would bite and scratch the toshers as they tried to rifle through the mud, water, and human waste. An adult against 10 rats? Not a big deal. A 7-year-old against 10 rats? Those are like 50-50 odds. As hard as this is to believe, there were some benefits to being a tosher. The job averaged about 6 shillings a day, which for working-class Victorians was towards the top of the ladder. Eventually, as waste disposal and management improved, toshing became a less sustainable line of work, and the profession died down. Number 1. Matchstick.
What's this?
Push you.
Reloading.
Cage triggered.
Careful now. Someone's deep.
Pyramid, guys.
Can you heal me, Scott?
Yeah.
Let's go B A, guys.
Heal up, squad.
Over.
Bang, bawa ini bang, kakak mau ulti.
I have retrieved the spike.
Close.
Where is everyone hiding? My ultimate is ready.
Smoke. So, bisa tak sempurna smoke-nya.
Spike down A.
One more. It's open.
Blam, man. Blam.
Last player standing.
Weh, mana kali oh bang, dia nggak bisa main loh.
Siapa sudah main?
Smoke aja nggak bisa. Kamu yang bodoh nggak bisa. Aku mah nanti di YouTube bang juga gimana tadi coba deh.
Ikut aja lah kak, nggak usah ngeluk lah.
Dipper. Matchstick dippers are exactly what they sound like. They were people employed in...
Sing pada gue. Tak 7 lah.
in matchmaking factories, whose primary job was to dip the small wooden matchstick into a vat of chemicals in order to coat the match with a flammable tip. The chemicals used varied, but the mix almost always included white phosphorus and sulfur. Now, you probably know this, but matchsticks are tiny sticks of wood with a tiny bulb of chemicals on a tip. And you know what was great for carefully handling tiny sticks of wood? Tiny hands, of course. Specifically, the tiny hands of young girls. Now, the conditions in matchmaking factories were hazardous for anyone, regardless of their position. Factories were overcrowded, with poor lighting and ventilation. Dust and chemical vapors were constantly swirling around the building, and the equipment used in matchmaking consisted of machines for cutting, shaping, and packaging wood. So accidents involving crushed limbs, ripped out hair, and amputated limbs were common. And also, it's a scorching hot factory that makes matches. The risk of fires and explosions was severe, but the matchstick dippers had it much worse than anyone else. The chemicals used to coat the matches, particularly the white phosphorus, were all highly toxic, and the matchstick dippers were constantly coming into contact with it, mixing it, touching it, and breathing in the fumes. This chemical exposure led to respiratory illnesses, skin irritations, and worst of all, a condition called phossy jaw. Phossy jaw is a condition in which the vapor from white phosphorus eats away at a person's jawbone, causing the bone to rot inside of the person's mouth. These girls' bones literally rotted inside of their skulls. Phossy jaw often started as a toothache, with pain that was persistent and progressive, expanding to encompass the entire mouth, before the infected jaw, usually the lower jaw, would fall right off the face. Yeah, like a zombie. And get this, infected bones would usually glow a light green color in the dark, similar to the textile factories. As more and more people learned what really went on inside matchmaking factories, people understandably grew outraged and called for reform. And this public outrage, along with advances in matchmaking technology, led to the decreased use of children to make matchsticks.
Chair push.
Get out of my way!
Reloaded.
Hawk out!
Run! Bang, trap taruh belakang satu.
Reloading.
Load the spike.
Jangan mati.
Planted.
Oh shit.
Last player standing.
Oh, fragnya ini buat tahan itu.
We'll start with the horrible and end with the horrific. Number 5.
Match point.
I hate to say it, but probably best to play as a team. So, what's the plan?
Humans have been fighting with other humans since the beginning of time, and while we've gotten pretty good at offing each other in very creative ways, we didn't start off with bullets. So here are 7 insane ancient weapons that were actually used in combat. Mayan Hornet Bomb.
Weapon here. I must wait a moment. My eyes are... Where is everyone hiding? My ultimate is ready.
Oh, 120. Unload.
Planted the spike.
Last player standing.
Nggak bisa main dong. Jadi
Okay, so we're gonna start with the primitive weapons first, and then work our way towards more advanced stuff. And this first one is right from Mother Nature herself. The Mayan Hornet Bomb was essentially exactly what it sounds like. It was a primitive bomb that contained a swarm of angry hornets that, when released, would viciously sting whoever was near them. Hornets are actually known to kill up to 50 people a year in present-day Japan, so they definitely can be dangerous, and the Mayans figured out how to weaponize these ornery insects to inflict maximum pain on their enemies. You may be now wondering, what's the difference between a bee and a hornet anyway? Aren't bees our friends, pollinating flowers and stuff? Well, size for one thing. Hornets are bigger, and unlike bees who are pretty much vegan, hornets like to eat meat. But probably the biggest difference when it comes to being used as a weapon, bees can only go on kamikaze missions and die when they sting something. Hornets, on the other hand, can shank you with their venom-filled stinger as many times as they want. Now, you can't just pick up a hornet's nest and hold it until you're ready to use it without expecting to become a casualty of war yourself. So the Mayans not only had to figure out how to collect the hornets, but also how to keep them alive and store them safely so they could be used in battle. They would carefully transfer the hornets from their nest to clay pots or gourds using smoke, and then seal them in with wax or clay, leaving holes so the bugs could breathe. When the time for war came, the Mayan warriors would carry these pots and gourds into battle, and right before they would use them, they would shake the bombs to get the hornets really pissed off. Then they would lob the hornet bomb at their enemy. The bomb would break open, and instantly a swarm of angry hornets would fly out and start stinging whoever was near them. The Mayans also used these hornet bombs in booby traps. When defending a position, they would create dummy soldiers with the hornet bomb placed as the decoy's head. They would then dress the dummy with warrior headgear and position them in key locations. When their enemy would charge in and try to club one of these dummies on the head, the gourd would split open and the attacker would be greeted with a face full of angry hornets stinging their eyeballs. Poop. Poop is gross, and I don't think anyone likes being around it. Human waste is something your body is trying to get rid of, and for good reason. Not only does it smell, it's filled with all sorts of bacteria that can make you very sick. So of course, humans figured out how to use their doo-doo as a primitive bioweapon. Now, you're probably thinking of cavemen slinging shit at each other like monkeys, right? Come on, we're more evolved than that. We can do better. Let's first take a look at the ancient Scythians. They coated their arrows with a poison made of human poop, blood, and viper excrement. When these arrows hit someone, the wound would easily become infected and gangrenous, causing a slow, painful death. In medieval Europe, poop was a strategic resource. Military geniuses like Conrad Kaiser recommended it for both offense and defense, storing the brown stuff in barrels for future use. And when the bubonic plague rolled around, flinging the feces of the afflicted over castle walls was all the rage. And let's not forget ancient China, where they would load up catapults and trebuchets to launch dirty bombs made of poop, hamstring, and gunpowder over castle walls during sieges. Sure, that made a mess. Anyways, poop was also used as a weapon as recently as the Vietnam War. The Viet Cong would coat sharp punji sticks with human feces and place them at the bottom of booby traps, hoping an American GI would fall into them. The GIs would slip and fall into these traps and were pierced by these punji sticks and would suffer horrible infections. Which kinda leads into the next weapon, Guai Jian. Now, this one technically could have been included in the last section, but I think it deserves its own. Guai Jian, or the ghost arrow, was an ancient Chinese weapon and booby trap that was kinda like stepping on Legos that could kill you. While at first glance, they kinda look like toys or pieces from a kid's game, don't let appearances fool you. Guai Jian was an extremely dangerous weapon not just for the victims, but also for the user. These iron caltrops were sharp and were slow cooked in human feces and poison to coat them entirely with dangerous bacteria. After coating, they would be held in specially made bamboo containers to protect the handler. To use them, the soldier would sprinkle the poisonous caltrops on the ground for a foot soldier or horse to step on. They were mainly used to protect flanks or to retreat from battle. Reportedly, they were also used in naval warfare and shot from a distance onto enemy ships. Imagine standing on deck and taking one of those to the neck! Holy shit, I actually hit him! Chinese wolf brush. Speaking of Chinese naval warfare, it's the 16th century and China is having a serious pirate problem. These aren't your average swashbucklers. These are wokwo, a fearsome blend of cultures, including Korean, but mostly Japanese marauders. They were pillaging and plundering along the Chinese coast using large two-handed swords that could easily chop through wood or bamboo. Bad news for any defender holding a standard issue spear. So how do you counter such a threat? You've got a few options. Option A, a super long spear to poke from a distance. Option B, a shield that could withstand the sword strikes. Or option C, a bamboo branch. What? This was the choice of Qi Jiguan, one of China's greatest military strategists. The wolf brush wasn't just any branch. This was a 13 to 16 feet long shaft made of ultra-hard tortoiseshell bamboo that weighed around 9 pounds. This bamboo was toughened up even more with tung oil and then fire hardened. At the end of the wolf's brush was a spear tip and branches that were intentionally left on the bamboo stalk. Each branch's tip was dipped in a lethal poison. The wolf brush was used mainly in a defensive position known as the Mandarin Duck Formation. Supported by soldiers armed with spears, swords, and shields, the brush holder would thrust the bamboo spear at enemy attackers, trying to prick them with one of the poisonous branches. Say ni hao to my little friend! While it was large and kind of unwieldy, the wolf brush turned out to be extremely effective, as once the people getting hit by the poison branches started passing out, the enemies would try to stay away from it. Some designs were even said to be able to fend off arrows, so it was also good for defense. The wolf brush also required virtually no training, as it was basically just a long stick. You basically just waggled the big bamboo stalk at people's faces and hoped for the best, and it usually worked out. Eventually, the bamboo branches were upgraded to iron branches, which made them even more effective at slicing and poisoning the enemy. Urumi Whip Sword. This one seems like something a kid would come up with.